Alright, today we're going to be putting in some speakers on this 2006 Honda Civic EX 4-door, as you can see. Not too difficult a job, so I'll take you guys along. You can check it out, see how it's done. And we're going to be putting in some Pioneer speakers. You can see it, that's the model number. These are 6.5s. Can you see that? Doesn't matter, they're 6.5. And we also are going to be putting in a wiring harness to help with the install, so we're not splicing wires. It makes it a lot easier. This part number from Turbo Wire 7800. You can see it's for Hondas. And we're also putting this gauche, I think that's how you say it, mounting brackets for the Honda. And let's see if you can see it. There's your part number right there. This is only for 2006 Civics, so if you're putting them in Hondas, make sure you get the right part number. Alright, we're going to do the front speakers first. But basically you're going to have to take the door panel off. On most of these Hondas, just about any Honda you work on, there's a trim piece right over here that covers the rear view side mirror. In this case it doesn't have one, makes it a little easier, but if your vehicle has one, you just grab it and pop it off. You don't even need any tools. And then all Hondas, you're going to have screws in here in the door handle. You're going to have a screw, 1, 2, or 3 screws in here, either down in here, behind here like this model is, or under here. And on the coupe there's a little trim piece that you need to pry off. Just get a little piece of trim panel remover and pop the piece off, and your screws are going to be under there. In this case this just has one screw here, but on all Hondas you're going to have screws in here, you're going to have screws in here, and then you're going to have clips all around the door frame, and then you're going to have that trim piece up here on most models. So just remember that. Those are good rules of thumb. If you start pulling on this and you feel resistance right in here, you missed a screw. Go back in and find it before you do anything. Alright, first thing we're going to do is pop this out right here. You just need a flathead screwdriver. That's the easiest tool I found to use. And you just go right in here. Right, there's a little slot right here, and then just very gently turn it just a little bit and you'll feel it pop. And you should be able to pop the rest of it out like that. You can see sometimes they're jammed in there just a little bit, and then it's hooked in the front. So just lift up on the back and pull it forward like that, and you'll get it out. And then you have to unclip this piece right here, and this one. Got 2 of them. Just pull them, clip them, or push them in and pull them out. That's all you got to do. 2 clips. That's it. And then you can see there's a screw right in here. That's what's holding this in right here. We'll go ahead and get that out right now while I'm looking at it. And then we'll get the door handle. You just need a little pry bar. Go in there. Whoop, and make sure the piece goes flying. That's all you got to do. Just go in there, push this tab in, pop it out. And you can see right behind here, can you get a shot of that? There, right here is a screw, and right here is a little retaining clip. Right there where the screwdriver is. So we'll just take those 2 out. Alright, we'll just take your Phillips screwdriver. You can go right in just like this. You don't even need to open or pull the door handle open. Just take the screw out. And then for that retaining clip, the easiest way I found, just take your same screwdriver, just push the middle in. Just pop it in like that. It'll go in, I don't know, maybe almost 1/8 of an inch, and just leave it, and that'll help you get it out. And if you look closely, you can see how I just pushed that retaining clip in just about 1/8 of an inch. Alright, and for the door panels, usually you can just reach under on most Hondas and just pop these off. On this one, on these Civics, they made it difficult to get in there.
just go in right near the corner here with a pry tool and just pop the first one. After that, you should be able to get your fingers in there and just pop these out. And work your way around so you get them all out. And you see if it's loose right here, you're good. And like I said, if you feel resistance after you start popping, you missed a screw in here. And then you can just simply lift it up off like that. And then behind here, if you look, you got the door mechanism, the lock mechanisms right here. And if you feel like disconnecting them, you can. All right, you just have to twist the locks off there and twist them out. But I found it's easiest if you're working on the speaker, just stand it up like that and leave it. All right, you can see these clips just go in these holes right here, like that, and that's how it's retained. Sometimes these things will stay in the door. If they do, just take your trim tool, pop it out, and put it, you just slide it right back into place like that. You can see all these are in. All right, these speakers are just held in by one screw right there. And take it out. That's all it is. Save that, you're going to need it. And then you just take these off. And in this case, this one is pretty tight. So take a trim piece tool and get behind there. You just got to pry it out a little bit like that. Don't pry the bottom. Just pry near the top right here and then pull it up. Like that. You can see it's held by two clips right there. And then you just squeeze these right here. This one's tight and pull it off. There's your connector right there. These Hondas have a little proprietary clip right there that connects these speakers. You can see that's the old speaker. It's all one unit like that. Look at that massive magnet right there. Alright, so like I said before, we're going to use an adapter to get the speaker leads instead of cutting this off. You can cut it off, but you can see you don't have much wire back there. Definitely found it's easier and quicker and more simple just to plug this in and boom, you're good. If you're looking at it, this white one is your positive, black one's your negative. Just connects in like this. So if you're looking at your connector, if you are going to cut it off, the wire on this side to the left, when you got the plug like that, is going to be your positive. Just so be aware. Normally I like to wire tie this in here, but it's a little tight back in there, so I'm not going to do it on this one. I think it'll be alright. It shouldn't rattle around in there. But if you really want to, you can wire that back in there like that. Alright, and so for these rings, these adapters to adapt the 6.5 speakers to this opening, they just go in just like the factory ones. They clip on the bottom here, and then the screw goes in the top. But I'll give you, I don't know if you can tell, you can hear that, that's going to rattle. Especially when the speaker's vibrating, it's going to rattle. So I'll show you a tip to avoid that. Alright, so the trick is, what you're going to do is, very carefully, pull this off. It doesn't matter if it rips a little bit. Pull this off of your old speaker like this. It's got a little bit of glue on it. You should just be able to go around and pull it off just like this. Boom, and now you have a nice little foam adhesive that will stick right to the new one. So make sure you got it the right way. The little tabs up just like that. And we'll put the sticky side right back down like it was. Just like this. And it'll pretty much go right into place. You might have slightly extra, but it'll work. Now, I've already found out on other models, take this out of here, remove the stuff that's right in here, pull this out of the way. You don't need that because it'll interfere. It is a tight clip in there, so it'll interfere with it. But if you just do that, you'll be much happier with your speaker installation because it won't rattle. Alright, we should be able to take our trim piece here, just sit it down in the place, and you're going to have to push it down and it'll snap into place like that. Once you've got it locked into place, then you should be able to screw it right back in where the old piece was. If it doesn't line up, you might have to push it down just a little more. And just get it snug. Just get that screw snug like that. You don't need to crush it in there. You can see that that's nice and tight and it will not rattle when you put your speaker in. Alright, we'll go ahead and, it's easier to connect to this, connect the wires to the speaker with it unplugged. And you can see on this, in the case of this one, it has a small one and a large one, and it coincides with the small and large right on the speaker. And you just go ahead and, I usually like to hold this piece a little bit and slide it on, because sometimes these can be kind of tight. And just slide the other one on, just like that. That's all you got to do. And then plug it in and we'll screw it in. Alright, these are the screws and mounting brackets that came with the speakers, but as you can see, those screws are too long. You try to put them through the mounting bracket that we bought, that screw will go into the metal. We don't need to do all that. So we'll use some smaller screws here. We'll just go into the box of goodies right after we take a sip of coffee. And we got the box of goodies. And you can see over here I got several different sizes of screws, from really short, medium, a little bit longer, and really long, for trim pieces. And we will go ahead and we'll use that size right there. Won't be too long. They're black, they'll look nice, we'll be good to go. Alright, we'll just go ahead and clip it in, and then we'll go ahead and mount it in there. We're just going to use 4 of the holes that are already in there to mount it in. So just get your speaker straight. We'll use these holes that are already here. They're not exactly perfect, but they'll close enough. They'll be alright. Alright, just make sure they're snug. You only need them to be snug, they're just going into plastic. And there you go, there's your installation. Alright, before you button it all back up, go ahead and make sure it works. Hey, sounds good. Hey, I recognize that song. Alright, now that you've verified the speaker's working, if you didn't disconnect this, you can just simply raise this back up. It just hangs right on here. Just make sure the wires right here are sticking out so you can grab them. Just hang it, push it right there and hang it, and it should drop right into place, just like that. Just make sure your wires are free so you can plug that back in. Your hole right there should line up. If it does, then you know you're aligned correctly right there. And now you can just pop these back in. Just go around, pop them back in. And let's put the screws back in. show you the push pin right here. Just comes in and out like that. So it stays in just like that. See, I found it easier. Make sure, push these in. You can see this one broke a little bit, but it'll be okay. Push it in there and then push the centerpiece in like that until it's flush. And put the screw in. Remember, you're going into plastic, just make sure it's snug. And then just put your trim piece back in. Like that. We'll put our master switch back in. Alright, just remember you got this tab right here. That tab just hooks up under the bottom here, so you got to get that in first. Like that. And then it should just snap into place, just like that. There you go. That's how you do the front door. Now we'll go do the rear door, or the rear deck. Alright, first thing we'll do in the back, we'll just reach under there and disconnect it. Same as the front, you just squeeze the sides and pull it down. Alright, now the back speakers on these 4-door Hondas, it just has a grill over the top. So they're not too hard to take off. The easiest way I found is just press down right here in the middle and get a tool into there. And then just pry up and then just go to the outside of the car. Like that. Just pop it up and then pull it out. And you can see there's little tabs on the inside. So that's why you pry from here to the outside and just lift it up. And there's your speaker. And just like on the front of the vehicle, it just has one screw right there that we can take out. And then usually these are jammed in there pretty good, just like the front. Oh, you can just pull it like that from this side, from the screw side, and lift up and pull it out. It has the tabs just like on the front. Just lift your speaker out. Now on the 4 doors, you see it just has the speaker grill over the back, which is kind of nice. On the 2-door coupes, you have to take your whole back dash off. So you have to take this whole back panel cover off. Some of the models, there's a screw over here and a screw over there, and some of them have hooks on the back. But in either case, you got to get those undone, and then starting from the middle, you just start lifting up and popping all the plastic clips off. The plastic clips are very similar to the front door clips, and you just pop them off and work from the center out. And if you look underneath here, I'll show you a shot from underneath in the back. You can see here's one of the clips right there. You might find it easier to get some pliers and pinch the clip back here and push it up. There's quite a few that you can reach from underneath here. You might find it easier to do that rather than prying up from underneath, but you can do it either way. Also, don't forget, you're going to have to disconnect the rear brake light, which is right here. You can just twist it, just twist the bulb. Just twist the bulb and pull it out. That's all you got to do. Do that before you pull the rear cover. Okay, and just like we did on the front door, I'm just going to peel this off and stick it over on the other one. Okay, and then just like the front, stuck the foam on the outside, leaving a little bit of gap right here where it clips in. Alright, now I've found that on the back speakers with the rear window in the way, it's much easier to mount the speaker to the bracket and then drop the whole thing in than trying to mount it inside. But as you'll see if you do this vehicle and with using these brackets, you see I just made a little jig with the foam from the speaker. When you put these in and you line the 4 speaker holes up perfectly like that, then if you look at the front, the hole right there where the front is, you can see that it overlaps, and when you put the bolt in, it's going to hit it. And so you have to move the speaker down just a hair so that that bolt will clear it like that. And you can see you still have a little bit of angles on the screw holes, and so you can make it work. So I found it's easiest to drop the screw in there like that and then screw the speaker down, and that way you know it will fit when you put it in the vehicle. There, just like that. Alright, and I'm not using these speaker grills, so just using it to protect the front of the speaker right now. Just bend these tabs up slightly and go ahead and put our speaker leads on here. Once again, it's easier to do it out of the vehicle on the back seat there. Just be careful, take your time putting those on. And then in this case, on these back speakers, I'm going to bend them up like that. That way they clear the back area. Just like that. Alright, and just like in the front, you just drop these in. And make sure the tabs catch on the front. And then just lock it into place like that. And you see, by doing it on the bench was a whole lot easier, and by leaving this bolt in the way when we put the screws in, you can see that it clears it. And once again, you're just threading in the plastic, just snug it up and you're good in there, nice and tight, no rattles or anything. Alright, and as you can see, we bent these so it'll clear the frame right there, and then you just connect this and you're golden. And we'll probably put a wire tie right there, and then we'll just pop this back in there, behind there, for a nice clean installation. Yeah, we'll put a wire tie just like that. And you see we have a nice clean install on both sides. Alright, and just like on the front, it's a good idea, test it before you button it back up. I mean, in this case it's pretty easy, it's just a single cover, but it's a good idea to test it before you button it back up. And once again, you just slide those in, just pop it into place. Just make sure it gets popped in everywhere. There we go. I'm not replacing the front little tweeters that are up in the corners of the dash on this vehicle. You can see they just reside right there. That's on the driver's side right there. And to get these out, you just do kind of like we did on the back. You just take your tool, or just press right here and then take your tool and stick it under there and just pop it out with a trim piece. And you can see these just are secured right into the top of the grill there. So if you're going to replace them and go with aftermarket and not factory tweeters, you're going to have to fabricate some way to secure them on there, just so you know. And they just plug in right there. And so just to be clear, in case you need to wire your stuff yourself, when you pull these out and you're looking at the speaker like this, this side over here, right here, this side is the positive side. This side's positive, this side over here is negative, so you know. Alright, we'll just go in, make one final test, see how it sounds. Sounds good. If you upgrade the speakers, let me turn that off. If you upgrade the speakers on your vehicle like this, you should sound a lot better than those cheap little factory speakers. So, hope you enjoyed the video. As you can see, it's not too difficult. You could do this if you just have a couple of basic hand tools and the right installation gear. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.